ஆனா எஜுகேஷனல் சென்டர் யூடியூப் சேனல். இந்த சேனலை சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க, பெல் பட்டனை கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க. எங்க வீடியோஸ் உடனே கிடைக்கும். எங்க சேனல் பிடிச்சிருந்தா லைக் பண்ணுங்க, ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க. நன்றி. வாங்க வீடியோக்குள்ள போலாம்.
Hi children, hope all of you are fine. Today in this session we are going to discuss three theorems as a whole: theorem 1.5, theorem 1.6 and theorem 1.7 in the chapter real numbers. All these three theorems, they don't have any proof, so I will just try to give you the explanation of all the three theorems. Let me read all the three theorems to you. Theorem 1.5. Let x be a rational number whose decimal expansion terminates. That means it ends after certain number of digits. Then x can be expressed in the form p by q, where p and q are co-prime, and the prime factorization of q is of the form 2 power n into 5 power m, where n and m are non-negative integers. This is theorem 1.5. Next, I will read theorem 1.6 for you. Let x is equal to p by q be a rational number such that the prime factorization of q is of the form 2 power n into 5 power m, where n and m are non-negative integers. Then x has a decimal expansion which terminates. This is exactly the converse of theorem 1.5, and based on these two we can explain the theorem 1.7 also, which I will read it for you. Theorem 1.7 says, let x is equal to p by q be a rational number such that the prime factorization of q is not of the form 2 power n into 5 power m, where n and m are non-negative integers. Then x has a decimal expansion which is non-terminating, repeating, that is recurring. So I have read all the three theorems for you. Now I am going to explain. Now we are discussing about rational numbers. We are not discussing about irrational numbers. Purely we are discussing about rational numbers. What is the condition for a number to be rational? Any number which can be written in the form p by q is a rational number. Numbers which cannot be written in the form p by q are irrational numbers. Now, based on their decimal part, we are going to classify them as terminating or non-terminating. In the case of non-terminating, they will be recurring. All this you would have learnt in class 9. Now, based on the three theorems, I will give you some examples. See, this theorem 1.5 says that if there is a rational number which is terminating and you write it in the form p by q, then when you prime factorize that q, you can find only powers of 2 or powers of 5 or both powers of 2 and 5. This is what theorem 1.5 says. And what does theorem 1.6 say? It says exactly the opposite. If in a fraction p by q, if you consider the q alone, if in the prime factorization of q there is only powers of 2 and powers of 5, or just powers of 2 or just powers of 5, then you can say that it is going to be a rational number with a terminating decimal expansion. This is the converse of theorem 1.5. And what is theorem 1.7? This is very important. Now, theorem 1.7 says, when you see q, when you see the prime factorization of q, you can immediately say that the rational number is going to be having a terminating decimal expansion or non-terminating decimal expansion, that is recurring decimal expansion. How can we say that? When you prime factorize q, you have to have only powers of 2 or powers of 5 or both powers of 2 and 5. If you have any other prime numbers except 2 and 5, except powers of 2 and 5, that is, if you want to put it in written form, you should have only 2 power m into 5 power n. That should be the form of your q. If you have any other prime factors, then you can say that it is not going to terminate. So a rational number will terminate only when q, that is the denominator, is going to have only prime factors of 2 or prime factors of 5 or both prime factors of 2 and 5. Now I will give you some examples. Example 1. Let us consider 1 by 4. You know that 1 is in the numerator, 4 is in the denominator. You always know that this is a terminating decimal expansion because 1 by 4 is 0.25. Now we will try to explain based on the theorem 1.5, 1.6 and 1.7. What does theorem 1.5 say? Theorem 1.5 says that if a number is going to have terminating decimal expansion, yes, this number is going to have terminating decimal expansion. So it says that q value is going to have only powers of 2 and 5 or either 2 or 5 or both 2 and 5. So when you prime factorize the denominator, that is 4, you get 2 power 2. Can you see that? Yes, it has only powers of 2. Now how will you solve this to find the way you get 0.25? When you multiply and divide by 5 squared, you will get 1 into 5 squared is 5 squared, 2 squared into 5 squared. This is of the form a power n into b power n. I hope you remember this identities. I have written it in the top for you. So 2 squared into 5 squared will be 2 into 5 the whole square, which is nothing but 10 squared. 10 squared is 100. In the numerator you have 5 squared, which is 25. So 25 divided by 100 will give you 0.25. So exactly you can see as per theorem 1.5, the denominator is having only powers of 2 and 5. Initially q is of the form 2 power 2. So the value of m, that is power of 2 here is 2 and the power of 5 here is 0. But you can clearly see that it has only powers of 2 and 5. So if it is going to have any other number apart from 2 and 5, it is not going to terminate like this. It will not terminate. It will have a recurring decimal expansion. Let me give you few more examples. If you see example 2, I will take 12 by 25. This 25 in the denominator can be written as 5 squared. So when you are multiplying 12 by 5 squared by the numerator and denominator, that is 2 squared by 2 squared, you will get 12 into 4 by 2 into 5 the whole square, which is 48 by 10 squared. So you will get 48 by 100, that is 0.48. Again you can see that it has a terminating decimal expansion. But here initially q value here is of the form 2 power 0 into 5 squared, that it has only powers of 5. That is what I explained to you initially. When there is a number having a terminating decimal expansion, then you write it in the form p by q, that q is going to have either powers of 2 as we saw in example 1 or powers of 5, which we are seeing in this problem. Now I will give you few more examples where you will have only powers of 2 and 5 in the denominator. So you can have either powers of 2 or powers of 5 or both powers of 2 and 5. If you don't have, or if you have any other number in the prime factorization of q, that is the denominator, then it is going to have a recurring decimal expansion, that is a non-terminating decimal expansion. When you consider example 3, I will take 35 by 20. 20 can be prime factorized as 2 squared into 5. So to make it whole, we are going to multiply and divide by 5. When you multiply and divide by 5, you will get 35 into 5 divided by 10 squared. that is 175 divided by 10 squared, which is 1.75. Here in this decimal expansion you can see that both powers of 2 and 5 are there. Power of 2 here is 2 and power of 5 is 1. It is having a terminating decimal expansion because there are only powers of 2 and 5. There should not be any other number as factor in the denominator. Now example 4. When you consider 124 divided by 50, you can see that 124 by 50 can be prime factorized as 2 into 5 square. So when you multiply and divide by 2, you will get 124 into 2 is equal to 248 divided by 2 squared into 5 squared will be 2 into 5 the whole square, which is nothing but 248 divided by 10 square, that is 248 divided by 100, which is 2.48. Again it is terminating after 2 decimal places. Here again you can see there are only factors of 2 and 5. I will give you one more final example. Let us take 656 divided by 200. 656, that 200 in the denominator can be prime factorized as 2 cube into 5 squared. So to make it whole, that is the powers, to make the powers equal, I am going to multiply and divide by 5. When you multiply 656 into 5, you will get 3280 divided by 2 cube into 5 square into 5 will be 2 into 5 the whole cube, that is 3280 divided by 10 cube, which is nothing but 3280 divided by 1000, that is equal to 3.28. Here q is initially of the form again 2 power m into 5 power n, that is 2 cube into 5 square. So always we can conclude that any terminating decimal expansion will have only prime factorization of 2 and 5 in its denominator. That is, when you prime factorize that q value, any rational number can be written in the form p by q. When you factorize that q value, you will have only factors of 2 or factors of 5 or both factors of 2 and 5. In case if you get any other number in the prime factorization of q, then according to theorem 1.7, you can clearly say that it is not going to terminate. It is going to have a non-terminating decimal expansion, that is a recurring decimal expansion. Hope you have understood this concept. We are going to solve problems based on this concept tomorrow in exercise 1.4. So learn all this concept thoroughly. Based on this, we will meet in tomorrow's session.